Why do you have to question yourself on the dream that you want to pursue? Why do you have to listen to the people that think they know what it is for you? You have 75 years in this world and in this lifetime. If you get lucky to do whatever you want to do. Do you understand me? So don't let anybody dictate you on what you want to do. You have 75 years if you get lucky. One life. You don't have no redos. You don't have nothing. There's nothing else after this. After this lifetime, there's nothing else. So go get it. Go chase the dream. Go get it.
Before you win, everyone will ask you why you're working so hard. And after you win, everyone will remind you how lucky you got. Hormozi twisted that into before you win, everyone will ask you why you're working so hard. And after you win, everyone will ask you why you're working so hard.
If you sacrifice and make the sacrifices each day, then you'll see the gains, man. You know, you guys have been seeing the pictures of me posting up, you know, and I'm getting some enormous, quick, fast gains. You know, I'm at the end of week 3 right here, and, you know, some good things are happening. So
how does one lead a meaningful life? Because ultimately, isn't that what we all want? We want to lead a life so that however we transition, people can say, wow, that was a bright one. That was a bright light.
Every time they spend practicing, and this is also incredibly difficult, but every time they spend practicing is almost entirely in a state of, I'm not comfortable with this. But if I focus as hard as I can, maybe I'm gonna pull this off. Like I'll pull off the sonata at this new speed I'm trying to do. Maybe I'll pull it off. It's like the maximal growth stimulating state.
The brightness and dimness of the auras were how one lives one's life, so to speak. So that's one of the major things that really has changed with me since then, he says. I want to live my life so my aura, when it leaves, is one of the brightest ones.
I think the biggest reward at the lowest level of your brain, like the things you actually remember, and just the self-satisfaction and happiness you feel about life, is when there's something that's really hard, but you stick to it, and then you eventually succeed. That locks in the lessons into your brain, that makes you feel good about yourself, that gives you more confidence for keep doing that in the future.
They don't know what I know. They don't know my full potential. Y'all don't know what I'm gonna be doing in 3 years. I know what I'm gonna be doing in 3 years. I know what I'm gonna be doing in 6 months, but some people can only judge you based off what you've already done. So like, when I would tell people like, hey, I'm gonna get a Grammy, and I'm saying this around the Goblin time, people are like, ooh, this nigga is tripping, right? But I'm like, oh, you guys don't know what I'm capable of and what I have planned for the next 4 years.
You can't multitask. There is no such thing as multitasking. Like what people think about when they think about multitasking is parallel processing. There is no such thing as that. Even switching between tasks has a huge cost in terms of what you can achieve. But then doing it in the macro too, you miss out on all of the big context window, a word that everyone knows now from AI. The bigger the context window, the more information it's able to pull in and the more connections it's able to make.
First thing you have to do, you have to review how wretched and miserable you actually are. And you have to face that. And then you have to think, I'd rather not have that. And it has to be true. And then you have to aim up. Now, you don't know what that means because like you're pretty scattered and dissolute, but at least you got the damn intent in mind. And then you have to be willing to make the sacrifices.
So if I would have had the opportunity to tell him when he was 13 years old, hey, listen, bro, I get it. You're going to step outside the box sometimes, but there's some mistakes that you can make that you'll never be able to recover from. So think about what you're doing before you do them. You need to think about what you're doing before you do them. And if I would have had the opportunity to tell him that when he was 13 years old, he might have had a better decision-making process when he got older. That's why I left it that way for those kids, so that they recognize that there are some things that you do as a person, as a kid, that you cannot recover from. You cannot recover from.
Because my mother made me believe in myself. No matter how many people tell me, stop believing in yourself. Stop saying what you can do. Stop affirming what you're gonna do and then completing that in real life. That's the improper way to do it. I refuse to follow those rules that society has set up in the way that they control people with low self-esteem, with improper information, with branding, with marketing. I refuse to follow those rules. It's about truth. It's about information. It's about awesomeness. And the only luxury is time. The time you spend with your family. That's the only luxury.
The people that win in life don't necessarily have more vision than you. See, it's not a lack of vision always that means that you are going to lose. It's a lack of a type of vision, which is depth perception. You think you're further away from the outcome, and so you pace yourself like it, and you jog all the time throughout your life. The people that win may have a bigger vision, but they have accurate depth perception. They understand how close their goals are, how close their outcome is, and they're constantly in a sprint to get there throughout their day. That means consequently, they get started earlier and they finish later.
I've worked with people where it's like, yo, what if we do this? And then they already edit in their head, and then they're like, oh, someone said no to something like that before, so I don't know. Will this work? And I'm like, bro, get out the gutter. Worst come to worst, it's a no, but let's at least try and then fail. Man, we had so many different ideas that didn't work, and it's okay, because all of that got us to this one end result that doesn't even have anything to do with it, but you just learn along the way. And I'm probably talking in circles, but just having people there that's like, hey, let's try that is...
What is the potential capability of a cheetah? They run fast, super fast, whatever, 60, 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. Do you think a cheetah goes, oh, I know my potential is 90 miles per hour, but I'm gonna start running 40 miles per hour? No, the cheetah says, this is my potential, I will achieve it. The oak tree says, this is my potential, I will achieve it. It is only the human that knows that it has greater potential, yet does everything to self-sabotage and not achieve its potential. Only the human. So where does that come from? Well, let me explain to you where mine came from. Allow me to purport.
Is that dopamine has the ability to buffer noradrenaline. So that stress that you feel when you're in effort, it's very hard for most people to keep that going. But when you get and when I say a shot, I mean internal release of dopamine through humor or through the sense that you're on the right path. Let's take the fight example, where it's stressful and you're getting beaten down. All of a sudden, you land one or you do something properly and the other guy starts to timber a little bit or shuffle a little bit. You gain a chemical advantage. And it comes in two forms. One is it triggers marking of the synapses that likely will change later. We rarely forget the events associated with dopamine.
What would a little bit of calm be like for a while, and then turning that up and turning that up and turning that up? Because why did you work so hard if it was just to allow yourself to work harder in the future? That's not to say that working hard isn't enjoyable, but that by working hard, you don't fully get to connect with life, because it sweeps lots of things under the rug, and it is a coping mechanism. It is an obese person using food as a crutch. You are obese with your workload. You are a workload fatty, and you are continuing to eat, and that is how you deal with your problems. So think about what it would be like to go on a diet.
And it basically, to me, it all boils down to actually fear. Because if you're thinking, then you're not taking action. And if you're not taking action, then there's no consequence. And if there's no consequence, then there's nothing to be afraid of. So I think that the overthinking can be an excuse for actual fear. And same thing with like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. That's also fear. It's fear of not being perfect. And then on top of that, low confidence. Well, if you have low confidence, guess what? You're afraid. Your confidence is low. You're not sure of yourself, so you sit around and think about doing it instead of actually doing it.
So number one is the Brahma Muhurta, which is in Sanskrit means the creator's time. That has been around for 6,000 years. And the whole idea is if you get up before dawn, you've already won the day, because that actually gives you better concentration, better focus, and better creativity. If you get up when the sun is warm, you've already lost the first battle. And now a lot of people are like, yeah, my chronotype, I'm a night owl. No, I used to think I was a night owl too. I was actually just a musician who drank too much. Morning larks, the chronotype is probably 60% environmental and only about 40% genetic. So everybody can be a morning lark.
And there's this idea from Ryan Holiday that says, be quiet, work hard, and stay healthy. It's not ambition or skill that is going to set you apart, but sanity. And that sounds fantastic, apart from the fact that working hard often stops you from being able to remain sane, especially if you push it. If we accept, and I think this is true, that peace is a performance enhancer, that if you are unpeaceful, if you are in dysregulated states all of the time, you don't get to access creativity, which is the highest lever that you've got. You're not enjoying the work, so your motivation is going to decrease every single day.
For me, I try to do something difficult every day. Something I don't want to do. Really, if you open your mind, your ear to the moments where you don't really feel like doing it, do it. Those kinds of things, I think, train your mind in the right kind of way to take on the things in your life that you know you should be doing, but are hard, and so you try to avoid them.
But like, that's one of many stories in my life where like a loss spurs an insight which might consciously or often unconsciously lead to something incredible down the road. And I think that one of the biggest challenges that we have, but it's so interesting that the loss of a World Chess Championship final leads to the win. The direct lesson is the win of a World Championship in a fighting realm. And how common that is. And one of the things that I think about, like when you sit down with great competitors, again and again, when you hear their inner journey, the most heartbreaking losses lead to the transformational change, which leads to the biggest wins of their life.
Every time you hide in procrastination, you choose the fake safety of hypothetical excellence over the real messy human business of trying and failing and trying again. You choose the version of you who could have done great things over the version of you who actually might. And this is the uncomfortable truth. Procrastination is often not about indecision. It's a decision to live in theory rather than in practice. Once you see it clearly, the whole game changes. The question stops being, why can't I get started? And becomes, what am I so afraid will be true about me if I actually try?
The way I like to frame it is, when you were born, you are a phenomenon, you are unique. Your DNA has never occurred in the history of the universe, going back billions of years. It will never occur in the future. Your life experience with your parents and everything that you experience in your early years going on up is unique, it's yours. You're one of a kind, right? So that is your source of power. To waste that is just the worst thing you can do in your life. And what the power is finding that uniqueness. What makes you you, and how you can mine that, and how you can go deep into it and use that to create a career path, right?
I think passion goes up and down, and that's where discipline is essential to keep carrying you forward, to keep doing the thing every day. And I'm not a big believer of resting and then returning to the task. I'm a bigger believer in when you don't really want to do it, still grinding it out, and days later, your passion for the thing will return. People are different, but that's how I am. Because the greater danger for me is when you take a break, when you rest, is you're going to destroy the habit that you've built. And once you destroy the habit, it's too easy to never return to the pursuit of expertise that you were on for many years before.
You would be much better off having 90 days or 180 days on a single goal and then changing it for the next 3/4 or half of the year than you would be trying to do all of those things. Well, it's important to have a balanced life. And you'll burn yourself out if you do too much of one thing. It's like, no, I fully disagree. Find something that you can get obsessed about, allow it to climb inside you and wear you like a parasite. And then once you are done with that thing, you will make more progress. Here's a best example. You will make more progress in 6 months of dedicated training than in 2 years of half in, half out training. And you will learn more, and you will be spending all of your time trawling forums and watching videos and doing all the rest of it. And that is the unlock.
imagining that you're kind of a competition with everybody else in the world. And so if something is difficult for you, imagining that it's probably going to be difficult for a lot of people. And if you just stick by it, you're going to leave all those people behind you. And eventually, if you keep doing it long enough, you'll be the best person in the world at it. So kind of seeing struggle as a sign that most people would be quitting at this point. And it gives you motivation that like, struggle is a sign that you're on the path towards being number one. If you enjoy the kind of idea of you being at that top tier of excellence in a thing, then that kind of mind hack can help.